Did you know that one of the greatest clashes in ancient history almost ended the Roman Empire? Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see what would have happened if Rome had lost the war with the Persians. The year is 201 BC. Rome has just crushed the Greek kingdom of Macedon, but their eastern border is now threatened by the rising power of the Seleucids, an empire based in Western Asia that stretches from the Anatolian Peninsula into Mesopotamia. Rome decides to take advantage of the situation and begins a war against them. But Rome is soon shocked when they discover that the Seleucids have an ally, Parthia. Despite the best efforts of their general, the Romans are defeated and forced to retreat back to Greece. Soon after, Parthia declares war on Rome as well. It looks like Rome is about to be crushed between two powerful empires. Can they survive this ordeal? Let's find out. That means that all of Rome's provinces, cities, and territories will be destroyed completely. So let's imagine that the Romans are defeated by Parthia. Why? Because even though the Seleucids would most likely destroy Greece, Rome could still stand a chance if they focused on just one enemy at a time. But how does Parthia defeat Rome? Well, their cavalry was far superior to Rome's, so a battle like this one would go badly for the Romans. Parthian archers would also decimate any Roman infantry that got too close to them. Plus, Parthia controlled the silk trade, meaning that they had access to a lot of money. With all these advantages, it wouldn't be hard for Parthia to defeat Rome. Now let's talk about the real war. After defeating the Romans, Parthia actually did become very powerful. In fact, they reached their peak under Arsaces Dakinan, who controlled much of the former Achaemenid Empire. However, Rome would eventually win the war and exact revenge on Parthia. But there was one big problem. The Roman Senate was now considering doing something crazy, destroying the Persian Empire. They were considering a full-scale invasion of Persia, which would surely end in disaster. Fortunately, the Roman general decided to take matters into his own hands and made a deal with Parthia, leaving the Seleucids alone. This treaty left a sour taste in the mouths of many Romans who felt that they had been betrayed. But it did save Rome from being destroyed. So why didn't the Romans keep making deals with the Persians instead of going to war with them? Well, the Romans thought that they could easily defeat Parthia. After all, they had defeated Carthage, the greatest power in the Mediterranean at the time. But Rome was sorely mistaken. Even though the Romans were more advanced technologically, the Persians had three major advantages. First, their cavalry was unmatched by the Romans. Second, their archers were incredibly deadly. And third, their empire was much larger than Rome's, meaning that they had more resources and manpower. With all these advantages, Parthia easily defeated the Romans in the Battle of Carrhae. In fact, the Romans suffered such a humiliating defeat that they were forced to flee for their lives. This defeat was so bad that it's still considered one of the worst in Roman history. Rome would eventually recover and go on to conquer the entire Mediterranean, but it could have easily ended right here. So let's imagine what would have happened if Rome had lost the war with Parthia. First, Parthia would have conquered all of the Roman provinces in Asia Minor, as well as Greece and the Balkans. They might have even tried to invade Italy itself, but I don't think they would have gotten very far. The Roman Senate would probably declare Parthia the winner of the war and sue for peace. But that still wouldn't bring back all the Roman soldiers and citizens that had been killed or enslaved by Parthia. Rome would then enter a long period of decline and eventually collapse, leading to the fall of Western civilization. Without Roman rule, the Mediterranean would be plunged into darkness for centuries. The only hope for Western civilization would be the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. But even they would be hard-pressed to survive without the help of the Romans. Eventually, the Byzantine Empire would also fall, leaving Europe in ruins. Now it's your turn. What do you think would have happened if Rome had lost the war with Parthia? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, stay epic. Don't forget to like and subscribe on channel.